Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a simple question. What's been occupying your mind lately? Here's a crucial truth. You become what you consistently think about. Not occasionally, not sometimes, but every single day. If your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and worry, your life starts to mirror that. If your mind is focused on growth, gratitude, and goals, that too becomes your reality. Your mind functions as a factory, and your thoughts are the blueprint. It builds based on what you feed it. What you dwell on, it creates. You attract what you believe you will become. This isn't just motivational talk. This is a law of life. And here's the key. It operates whether you're conscious of it or not. So, if you're not satisfied with where your life is heading, perhaps it's time to examine what's been running on repeat in your mind. Because here's the thing, you can't plant weeds in the garden of your mind and expect to see roses grow. This idea changed everything for me. It made me more intentional, focused, and empowered, and I want to share that with you. Stick with me, and over the next few minutes, we'll break it down step by step, thought by thought. By the end, you'll understand how your thinking has been shaping your life and how you can regain control. Let's dive in. Thoughts are like seeds, and you're always planting. Here's a simple concept that's anything but insignificant. Your thoughts are seeds. The moment you think them, you've already planted something. Now, the real question is, what kind of harvest do you want to reap? Life doesn't simply respond to your wishes. It responds to your mindset, your internal dialogue, and the way you think. The soil of life is always fertile. It doesn't care whether you plant good seeds or bad seeds. It will return to you what you've planted, and it will multiply. Just like the earth doesn't argue with a farmer's seeds, life doesn't challenge your thoughts. It quietly and relentlessly goes to work, producing the harvest you've planted, whether that's what you intended or not. Let's visualize this. Think of your mind as a garden. Every day you wake up with a bag full of seeds. Some seeds are powerful: hope, courage, gratitude, and ambition. But others are destructive: fear, self-doubt, anger, and procrastination. The catch is, you plant them all, every single one, through your thoughts, focus, and attention. And over time, what you plant becomes your mindset. Your mindset shapes your decisions lead to actions, your actions produce results. So if you're not happy with your current harvest, don't blame the weather, don't blame the soil. Take a moment to consider the seeds you've been planting. Here's an important truth. Most people plant by default, not by design. They wake up, check their phones, absorb the news, listen to gossip, and by lunchtime they're already feeling anxious or lost. This isn't life happening to you. This is your garden reflecting exactly what was planted. So what's the solution? Start thinking with purpose. You need to be intentional about the seeds you plant in your mind. Instead of thinking, I can't, replace it with, I can improve. Instead of, what if I fail? Think, what if I learn something that changes everything? Instead of, this always happens to me, say, this time I'll respond differently. Hey, here's the magic. And yes, it's real magic. One small positive thought, planted and nurtured with repetition, can completely transform your life. Imagine this, just one idea, believed in, spoken aloud, and acted upon, can set off a chain reaction, a new habit, a new result, a new chapter. But you need to be honest with yourself. What kinds of seeds have you been planting? Every complaint is a seed. Every excuse is a seed. Every time you say it's too late or I'm not good enough, that's a seed. But so is every word of encouragement, every decision to try again, every act of discipline, and every vision of a better life you hold in your mind. Those are seeds too. So what's your garden going to look like a year from now, 10 years from now? The good news is you don't have to wait to find out. You just need to look at what you're planting today. Here's a simple yet powerful step. Start a thought journal. Each morning, write down the dominant thought running through your mind. Is it hopeful, negative, empowering, draining? Track your seeds, because what gets tracked gets changed, and what gets changed can grow into something remarkable. Let me leave you with this. You don't have to be a genius to change your life. You just need to become a better gardener. Choose your seeds wisely, nurture them daily, protect them from the weeds, and the harvest will take care of itself. Remember, you're always planting. The only question is, are you planting what you actually want to grow? The mind is a garden, and you must guard it fiercely. Let me tell you something that has changed more lives than any motivational slogan ever could. Your mind is a garden, and every single day, something is trying to grow in it. Something is trying to take root. Here's the deal. If you don't take charge of what grows there, anything, yes, anything, will start to grow. Let me ask you this. Have you ever walked past a garden overtaken by weeds? What happened there? Did someone plant those weeds on purpose? No. Weeds show up due to neglect. They grow because someone said, I'll tend to it tomorrow. The same thing happens in the mind. If you don't guard it, protect it, and nourish it, soon you're not thinking your own thoughts anymore. You're just reacting to everyone else's. And that's dangerous because the world is not neutral. There are voices, negative voices, that whisper or even shout all day long, telling you you're not enough, that it's too late, that you'll never change. If you're not careful, those voices will take root. They'll grow tall, strong, and soon they'll block the sunlight of your potential. You've got to be the gatekeeper of your mind. You decide who enters and who is escorted out. You control what comes through your eyes, your ears, and your inner dialogue. I'm not saying you should build walls so high that no new ideas can get in, but be careful. You want to be open-minded, but not so open that weeds can blow in with the breeze. It's not just about protecting your mind, it's about curating it, feeding it, strengthening it. You need to feed it with ideas that challenge you, stories that inspire you, and thoughts that lift you. Because here's what I've learned. A strong mind leads to a strong life, a guarded mind leads to a guided life, and a clear mind leads to a creative life. Now, let me give you some practical advice. If you're going to guard your mind, you need to build a few habits. First, control the first hour of your day. The first hour sets the tone for the rest of the day. If you fill it with junk news, social media, and comparison, you've already let the weeds in. Instead, start your day with intention. Read, reflect, write, visualize, plant something good. Second, audit your input. Ask yourself, is this helping me grow or holding me back? That TV show, that podcast, that conversation, what's it doing to your garden? If it's toxic, turn it off. If it's dull, cut it out. Be ruthless because your future is at stake. Third, choose your circle carefully. People are carriers. They carry energy, ideas, and influence. If you surround yourself with complainers, you'll start planting more complaints. Surround yourself with growers, thinkers, and doers, and your garden will thrive. Fourth, practice mental hygiene. Just like you brush your teeth and shower, your mind needs daily cleansing. Journaling clears out the clutter. Silence renews your focus. Gratitude resets your perspective. Even a beautiful garden can become wild if ignored. Here's what's remarkable. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start pulling the weeds and planting better seeds day by day, thought by thought. Let me tell you what happens when you guard your garden. You begin to think more clearly, make better decisions, attract better people, and create a life that reflects purpose, not just noise. That's the power of a well-tended mind. So let me ask you, what's growing in your garden? Be honest, because honesty is the beginning of progress. Then make the decision today to guard your mind with everything you've got, because your mind is the starting point for every achievement, every breakthrough, every transformation. Guard your mind and the rest of life will follow. What you think about, you move toward. Let me share a principle that has shaped the lives of successful people for generations. You move toward what you think about. Not what you wish for, not what you daydream about, but what you think about constantly, consistently with emotional involvement. What you dwell on, you eventually walk toward. The mind, my friend, is like a compass. Whatever you point it at long enough is where you'll end up, even if you don't realize it. Imagine someone who spends their days thinking, I'm always tired, I can't catch a break, nothing works for me. Guess what? Their actions match that story. They move slower, try less, and expect failure. Eventually they find it. Now imagine someone who wakes up thinking, I'm improving, I'm learning, I'm building something meaningful, You'll see it in their posture, hear it in their voice, and feel it in their momentum. Why? Because they're moving in the direction of their dominant thoughts. Your mind is always giving orders to your behavior, and your behavior drives your results. But here's the catch. Your thoughts don't have to be true to influence your direction. They just have to be repeated. If you tell yourself, I'm not ready, or I'm not good enough, or I'll start next year, guess what? Your body listens, your habits follow, and your life starts to shrink. You've got to interrupt that pattern. Point the compass somewhere worth going. Here's a real life example. A young man came to me after a seminar. He said, I want to be successful, but I feel stuck. I don't know what to do. I asked him, what do you think about most during the day? He replied, honestly, I think about how I'm failing, how far behind I am. I told him, that's your problem. You're trying to go north, but your mind is pointed south. You can't get where you want to go by thinking about where you don't want to be. You need to start thinking about what you want, not just what you fear. See the future in your mind before you ever hold it in your hands, because the mind leads and life follows. Here's a simple habit you can build today: mental targeting. Every morning, take 5 minutes, just 5, and clearly think about where you want to go. Not vaguely, not someday, but specifically. The health you want, the income you desire, the character you want to embody, the relationships you want to build. Hold those images in your mind, feel them, speak them, write them down. When your mind sees something often enough, it starts to believe it's possible. And when belief shows up, action follows closely behind. That's how success begins, not with luck or genius, but with focus. What you think about, you begin to notice. What you notice, you begin to pursue, and what you pursue, you begin to experience. So what's your mind fixed on? Be honest. Are you thinking about problems or possibilities? Worry or opportunity? Who you used to be or who you're becoming? Your thoughts today are the preview of your life tomorrow. Every person you admire, every achiever, every leader, every builder, they all had to point their mind in the right direction before they ever moved. And so do you. You don't drift to excellence, you think your way into it and then you move. So decide right now, where do you want to go? And more importantly, what are you willing to start thinking about to get there? Because what you think about, you will move toward, and the journey begins the moment you take back the steering wheel of your mind. Your life follows your philosophy. Let me tell you something that's easy to overlook, but absolutely essential to understand if you want to change your life. Your life doesn't follow your hopes. It doesn't follow your good intentions. It doesn't even follow your goals if they're just written on a sheet of paper. Your life follows your philosophy. Now, what do I mean by that? Your philosophy is simply what you believe about life, about success, about failure, about people, about yourself. It's the set of ideas you've accepted as true. It's the way you see the world, and it shapes every decision, every habit, every result. Your philosophy is your internal compass, and whether you know it or not, it's been pointing you in a direction for years. Here's what's important. You don't get what you want, you get what your philosophy allows. You can want wealth, but if your philosophy is that money's the root of all evil, you'll sabotage yourself every time an opportunity shows up. You can want love, but if your philosophy is that everyone leaves, you'll push people away without even realizing it. You can want success, but if your philosophy says people like me never make it, then guess what? You'll prove yourself right. That's the power of a hidden philosophy. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if your life isn't what you want it to be right now, you don't need to look out, you need to look within. You've got to examine the ideas you've been building your life around. And that's not always easy, because many of those beliefs were inherited from parents, from school, from culture, from past pain. You didn't choose them, but they're still running the show now. The good news is this: you can change your philosophy. That's the beautiful part about being human. You're not a tree, you can move, you can grow, you can upgrade your thinking, but you have to do it on purpose. Let me give you some practical steps to begin. First, identify the results you're getting. The results don't lie. They're always the loudest messenger of your current philosophy. If your finances are a mess, there's a philosophy behind that. If your health is declining, there's a philosophy driving that too. If your relationships keep falling apart, same thing. Results reveal beliefs. So start there. Second, ask, what must I believe to keep creating this? This is a powerful question. It cuts through the noise and gets right to the root. You'll uncover beliefs like, I'm not worth it. Hard work never pays off. Or people can't be trusted. And once you see it, you can change it. Third, replace weak beliefs with empowering truths. Here's the rule. Don't just remove a bad philosophy, replace it with a better one. I'm not worth it becomes I'm valuable, and growth is my responsibility. Success is for other people becomes success is earned and I'm willing to earn it. Write your new philosophy down, say it daily, and live it consistently. Fourth, build a philosophy that serves your future. Ask yourself this: if I keep thinking the way I'm thinking now, will it take me to the life I want? If not, don't wait for life to get better. Make your philosophy better, because that's where the real change begins. Let me tell you what happens when you upgrade your philosophy. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop blaming and start building. You stop drifting and start designing. You become the architect of your future, because your mind is finally working for you, not against you. But remember, your philosophy doesn't change overnight. It changes by decision, then repetition, then reinforcement through action. You've got to review it often, refine it, and sharpen it, because the moment your philosophy starts to change, so does everything else. Let me leave you with this. If you want to change your income, change your philosophy about money. If you want to change your health, change your philosophy about discipline. If you want to change your relationships, change your philosophy about people. And if you want to change your life, start with the thoughts you allow to live in your head and the beliefs you allow to govern your days. Because your life will never go further than your philosophy allows. So upgrade it, guard it, live by it, and watch the world respond. You can't live a positive life with a negative mind. Let me give it to you straight. You can't live a positive life with a negative mind. It just won't happen. Trying to do that is like trying to plant flowers in poison. You can hope, you can pray, you can water the soil every morning, but nothing grows when the roots are rotten. You see, your mindset sets the tone for your entire life, not your background, not your education, not your circumstances, your mind. Now, here's what I've learned after years of speaking with people from all walks of life. Most people don't even realize how negative their thinking has become. They don't notice how many times a day they say things like, "This always happens to me. Just my luck. Nothing ever works out. I knew I'd mess it up," or "I don't think I can." These aren't just passing words. They are reflections of a deeply rooted mindset. And over time, those thoughts become habits, those habits become identity, and that identity becomes a life that never rises above average. But here's the good news. The mind can change. And when your mind changes, your life starts to follow. Let me show you how negativity shows up in your words. You speak doubt, not confidence. In your body language, you slouch, you sigh, you hesitate. In your habits, you procrastinate, you give up early, you sabotage your momentum. In your relationships, you expect the worst, you assume the worst, you attract the worst. And all of it starts with your thinking. You can't talk failure and expect success. You can't dwell on limitations and walk into freedom. You can't replay rejection in your mind and expect to feel confident when opportunity knocks. It doesn't work like that. Now listen, I'm not saying life is always sunshine and roses. We all go through tough seasons. We all face rejection, pain, betrayal, and setbacks. But the difference between a negative mind and a strong mind is simple. A negative mind stays there. A strong mind acknowledges the pain, then chooses a better perspective. Because your mind doesn't just reflect your life, it creates it. You've got to take responsibility for your atmosphere. Here's a powerful exercise. Try this. Starting today, create a mindset filter. Every time a negative thought shows up, stop and ask, is this useful? Is it true? Is it helping me grow? If the answer is no, replace it. Don't fight the negative thought, overwrite it. You don't have to wrestle with the dark if you just turn on the light. Let me give you a few replacements for common negative thoughts. Instead of "I'll never figure this out," say, "Every expert was once a beginner." Instead of "I'm so behind," say, "I'm right on time for my journey." Instead of "I always fail," say, "Every failure has something to teach me." Instead of "I'm not good enough," say, "I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm not done yet." You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be intentional. And here's another tip. Protect your input. You can't expect a positive mind free while feeding it hours of fear, gossip,